And good evening once again, everybody. Welcome to round 13, the final round of our 1980 DRM Division II series, coming to you once again from the Hockenheim Ring. So we're just about ready to go into the final race here. Before we do, let's take a quick look at the point standings at this point, and I had to put these together very quickly, but here we go. This is where it appears we are at. After 12 rounds, Liam Dolan has 139 points, and that's after he finished in second place. Nicholas Kirsten finished fourth in the last round, so he has 121. Those are the ones who are in competition for the win. Boss went up from 75 to 95 points. David Saber slots in at 59 with the points that he hauled in. Matthew Sibignani did not compete. So we're going to go to the race session in just a moment. Should be happening very quickly. Remember the point scheme: 20 for the win, 15 for second. I thought it was 16. It's actually 15. 12 for third, 10 for fourth, 8 for fifth, and then 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You have to be crossing the line after the winner to get the points, to get the classified position. Best 11 results count, but we don't have to worry about that. They are loading up the grid one more time to make sure that everybody is in the right spot. And we'll be going to the race session very quickly here. On the pole we have Liam Dolan, and he is in his Team Schnitzer number 56. Second place, Ruben Fernandez, D&W Zaxby team number 53. Third is Juha Boss, number 55. Team Schnitzer. Also, those two front BMWs are Aerohex. Then we have Grant Riddall, who is a DNF in the last race. He'll be looking to correct that in this one. Fifth is Kirsten, Team Schnitzer number 61. David Wattman is sixth. Bavaria team 67. David Saber seventh, driving for the Sax Sporting team number 52. Eighth is Cezary Ślepinski. Oh, Karl-Heinz Becker, number 57. Ray Riddall is in the number 54 D&W Zaxby team number, that's 54, it's the Capri. 10th is John Team. Escort number 58. Mikael Drexler, is starting 11th, number 62 BMW. Weiblinger Motorsports. Tim Hilla, Tough Coat. Dino, number 33. 13th is Bruno Chacon. Jägermeister Racing. 14th, Richard Wilkes. And the first of the Lancia Beta Monte Carlos. Janik is 15th. And for some reason, as circumstances starting last, I thought he was positioned ahead of these guys on the grid, but in any case, that's where he is for the start of this race. So 16 cars once again as they come down the back straightaway. And again, let's take one more look at the point situation so you know what it is real quickly. So Liam Dolan did have before 124 points, and he got 15, which makes 139. Nicholas Kirsten had 111, but got 10 points for fourth place. See, there it is, 10 points for fourth place. So that puts him 121. Juha Boss won. He gets the full 20 points to go up to 95. He's not in any kind of mathematical situation to win the title, so it's down to Dolan and Kirsten for these two. Technically speaking, if Liam Dolan did not finish the race and Kirsten won it, he would have 141 to Dolan's 39. So there is a mathematical shot here at possibly Kirsten taking the win, but it would require something very bad to happen to Dolan. Not that we would wish that on anyone, just kind of trying to put in perspective where we are right here. Now we're looking for start here to happen as they come off the final turn. Let's see if we get it. You'll have to listen for the acceleration. there it is. The race is underway once again. Dolan sprints into the lead. Fernandez doesn't really have much of a chance on the inside. No, he does not. So Dolan sprints into the lead. Fernandez is in second. Now, Boss was able to really get ahead of these guys going into the first chicane, but it looks like that's not gonna. My goodness, he's dropping way back. He must have missed a shift or something. Fernandez closing in on him fast, as is Grant Riddall. They're heading for the first chicane here. Let's see what happens. Into the first chicane. Dolan has a handy lead at the moment, and you see there they're coming through. Everybody going up on the curb on the right-hand side. My goodness. Out of the chicane, Dolan handily in the lead here, and now being pursued by Boss, so it's like a repeat of the last race, at least to start with, and Fernandez is in third, but the difference here is that Grant Riddall is in the mix. Riding on board with Grant Riddall right now. Heading into the second chicane. Grant is going to be very keen to do better in this race than he did in the previous one. Heading into the stadium section now. Coming out of the last turn. Completing lap number 1. Yeah, Grant is the X factor here. He definitely is in a situation where he wants to do better, of course, than last time, but at the same time, we have to consider the point situation. Heading down the straightaway now, and there is Grant right in the toe of Fernandez. And Dolan is in front of Boss, doing a really good job here, staying on the ball. And look at this, uh-oh! A little bit of a slow exit by Dolan, that's all it takes. Here comes Boss on the inside, wants to make it a daily double. And he goes into the lead. Boss takes the lead going down towards the Ost curve. Downshifting into the Ost curve. Going out to the edge. It's very tempting to take the car all the way out there, but it's really difficult. You don't want to get into a bad situation out there where you take the left rear and put it on the grass. That can be very bad. And actually, Fernandez has pulled out a bit of a lead between where he was and where he is now. He's got a little bit of a lead compared to the position of Grant's car. So Grant must have had a slow exit from one of the chicanes. Here they are coming down now towards the stadium section for the second time, at least in racing trim for the second time. Boss continuing to lead now, so, and you can see the advancements that are there in the Capri in order to get the maximum aerodynamics. You can see how long the rear window is on the car, pretty stretched out, and that's obvious. It's an obvious aerodynamic move. Same thing happened with Monte Carlos in NASCAR in the late 80s. As they come out of the final turn, south curve and into the north curve to start another lap is Boss. Dolan second. And yeah, Fernandez definitely is firmly ensconced in third place now, riding on board with Liam Dolan. Through the chicane, up onto the edges. right in his slipstream here, so he's hanging right with him. And it looks like he's got a little bit of a roll here, but what's he going to be able to do with it? Boss to the outside. Liam could try to take the... No, Boss is... That's him just getting ready for the next curve. Dolan is going to break a bit later, and will that be enough to take the lead? No. No, Boss defends the position really well. Heading down the straight now, here comes Dolan on the outside, and look at Fernandez, he's getting into it as well. Three-way battle, it's like a replay of last time, only this time Fernandez is more of a roll. Dolan defends the outside into the stadium section, just like he did last race. Hangs on. Fantastic stuff. Now back onto the main straight here. Dolan in the lead, and we see Boss Strip has gone back to third now, so Fernandez definitely has a shot here of having a better round than last time. Not that third place is anything to sneeze at, which is what he got in the previous race. But definitely going to be very, very interesting to see if he can put it the same kind of speed as Dolan is doing here. Fernandez's Achilles heel in the last race was that he kept running off the track. He kept clipping the grass. Well, everybody was generally clipping the grass to some degree, but Fernandez was doing it a little bit more than everybody else, and it ended up taking away a lot of the momentum that he had. So if he can do that less in this race, I think he stands a much better chance of hanging with the leader and possibly winning. So that's what his job is in this race, to keep going fast, but try to make fewer errors, fewer grass excursions. If he can do that, then he's got a good shot of getting a win here from Dolan. But Dolan, all he has to worry about for the championship is that he's ahead of Kirsten. And Kirsten is all the way back and forth again. This is practically a replay of the last race. Same thing happened to Kirsten before. He lost touch with the leaders, and he's in fourth. So, really, now it's down to, if Dolan finishes in front of Kirsten, he's got the championship. That's where we're at. So accelerating out of the second chicane, heading towards, braking now, and heading into the stadium section. It looks like Boss has a chance here to possibly get second place back. Not here. Fernandez runs a bit wide, but let's take a look from Boss's point of view here. Downshifting. Heading now onto the main straight to complete another lap. It's lap number 4 complete of this race. Boss does a great job there maintaining momentum through the first turn, the north curve. Downshifting now, heading into the first chicane. And Boss does a good job again of maintaining momentum. He didn't lose hardly any there. And he's actually got a bit of a roll on Fernandez, it looks like. Meanwhile, back here we've got Schlipinski and Wilkes in close company. This is a battle for 6th place. On board with Schlipinski, that Lancia Beta Monte Carlo is a formidable opponent. It's very fast in a straight line. Braking now for the Ost curve. And Schlipinski had an issue with the game crashing in the last race, so he obviously doesn't want that to happen again. Grant Riddall out of the race again! Whatever happened there? And let me guess, it happened too long ago. That's incredible that Grant would be out in 2 successive races. So our double champion for 2025, not going to finish this one. It happened too far back, so we're just going to go on. Too bad. Dolan continuing to lead. Fernandez second, Boss in third as they round the Sachs curve. Now heading into the state, and once again, or the front straight once again. Boss definitely has lost a little bit of ground here. Houston fourth, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to reel Fernandez back in. Again, Fernandez has been taking to the grass a little too much, at least in the last race, so that may be the chance that Boss has to get back in the lead. But Dolan stretching it out here. Dolan really came on strong towards the end of this series, and if he's able to cap off the championship here, which he likely will, definitely a deserving champion, because he's just been showing fantastic form race after race, in the latter half especially. Here comes Boss now on the outside. It looks like he's got a bit of a roll on Fernandez. Is he going to be able to take him before the Ost curve? He's got him technically now, but can he get the overlap before they get to the Ost curve? The answer is no. There goes Fernandez back into second. He slips ahead as they're in the Ost curve now, exiting the Ost curve. Heading now to the second chicane. Boss is still in striking distance here. Heading now towards the stadium section. And Boss definitely is right there. He's staying right with Fernandez. Oh no, Fernandez goes off the road, no, and he's going to give it right to Juha Boss. See, that is exactly what I was talking about. That's what happened last time. Fernandez just could not keep the car on the road at key points, and it was his undoing as far as staying with the lead pack, and there goes Boss up into second place. Now his next target is the leader, Liam Dolan. And these two we've seen, especially from the last race, are very evenly matched. Boss was the winner. Second place went to Dolan. Third to Fernandez, and then fourth to Kirsten. Sabre finished fifth, which was nice. It gave him a nice bump in the points. As we look at the chopper shot here, here's Boss in second place, stalking Dolan. Actually, Dolan's pulled out quite a long distance here. He's at a point now where he might start to break the draft, providing he doesn't. Ooh, he really cut that one short there. But with the aerodynamics being what they are on these cars, it's very easy to overdo it going into a chicane. Now, you see there, just with that small miscue, Boss is closed in a little bit, enough that he can start to pick up that slipstream again with some good effect. Now they head into the Ost curve. We're already at about halfway point in this race. These races are sprints. They don't last very long. And actually, one thing did not come to pass in the last race, round 12, that I thought would. We didn't see anybody blow up, which is very interesting, because this is obviously a race that taxes the motor more than most. So 2 DNFs so far, Schlapinski and Grant Riddall. Thankfully, Johnny Aces does not have the same issue that he had before, apparently. As Boss looks to the right here, he's actually on the grass trying to get by for the lead. Dolan is going to do what he's done many times before, and he breaks later going into the stadium and maintains the lead. He's very good at doing that, but here comes Boss at the inside at the Sachs curve. No, it's not going to get done there. Looking back, and back into the front straightaway once again. Fernandez lost a little bit of ground, but he's still in striking distance. He's not too far back. Across the line, heading in for another lap. Oh, goodness! Dolan's off the track and out of the race! Blown engine! You can hear the flames licking. That's it. He's out of the race. Dolan is not going to finish. Now, that is going to have implications on the points. My goodness. Huge development just now. Boss in the lead. Fernandez second. Third is Sabre. Fourth is Kirsten. Now, Kirsten, right now, let's check to see if this will make enough of a difference in the points. So if Kirsten finishes where he is, no, it will not make a difference. Kirsten needs to move further up and get more points, because right now, if he finishes fourth, he will only have 131 to Dolan's 139. And so Dolan will be the champion. But we have to wait until the race plays out. Kirsten has to win this race, basically. Finishing in second will not be enough. Second will make him have 137 points, so he has to win. He must win. Dolan is out of the race. Not going to get any more points. So now Kirsten's got to get higher up. But at the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. Going back to the track action here, because he's in fourth, and he's got quite a distance to make up if he wants to catch the cars in front. So based on where he is now, unless the cars in front of him just go out of the race for some reason, unless they have some kind of engine malady, it appears that Dolan will win the championship on the points that he already has. Yeah, because he has to catch Sabre to start with, and then he has to catch these two, who are even further along. Let's give you a visual reference here so you can see. Here's Boss with Fernandez exiting the front straight, and there you see Kirsten just now entering the front straight. Ray Riddall out of the race. Let's see what happened here. This happened just a second ago, I believe. Maybe I can catch it. No, apparently not. So Ray out of the race. So cars are actually dropping like flies all of a sudden. That's incredible, though. Liam out of the race. So if he's going to win the championship, he's going to do it on the points he has. But based on where Kirsten is, Kirsten needs something to happen to the people in front here, to the first three cars, in order to pip the championship here and take it from Liam Dolan. But at the moment, it seems very, very unlikely. Boston first, Fernandez in second. He's got a bit of a gap there, but he should be able to make it up if he has a good run, Boss. Sabre's in third. And actually, Kirsten closing in on Sabre a little bit. That distance looks pretty far, but it looks closer when you look at it on the track for some reason. There goes Kirsten through the chicane, and look at that. Sabre made a bit of a miscue, and this is Kirsten's chance to get up to third place. This is very important because he needs to get every point he can if he's going to even remotely challenge for the championship. And he's on the inside line. He's got the right placement. Kirsten goes up to third place, but that's still not good enough. He's got to win the race in order to take the championship away from Dolan, who is out of the race. So the question is now, can Kirsten hunt down these other two cars? It's a pretty sizable gap as we look at it here. Here comes Kirsten now into the stadium. So it's a huge gap between where he is and the front of the field. So the odds are not looking in his favor, but credit where credit is due. Kirsten is trying his best. And, whoa, man, going off in the grass there. But he knows that if something happens to those front two cars, he could walk home with the hardware. Fernandez is now right with Boss again. Actually, he has a little bit of a gap here. Heading down to the Os curve now. I think he's got to be careful, Fernandez, because he's at the point now where if he's not careful, he could very easily lose the slipstream. That's the thing about this track, you know. You got to hang on to a car on these long straights and stay with it. If you lose sight of it, or if it gets too far away, the slipstream stops being a factor and you just go backwards very slowly. It becomes a very, very, very lonely race. Fernandez doing a good job at the moment. Looks like they're closing on Chacon as they enter the stadium section. Down to the Sachs curve, and he's right with him. He's on the outside. Wow, he almost choked the car there on the outside. It almost sounded like it almost shut off on him. But now they're heading through the end of the stadium section into the south curve. And Chacon's there. I doubt Chacon's going to play a role here. Look at the opposite lock on Fernandez. He is trying very, very hard. Oh, he missed his shift there. He doesn't want to do that too often. Exits the north curve with very good speed. And Boss is going to be trying to use a little bit of the slipstream from Chacon. Well, Chacon's not going to give him any opportunity, really. He's just going to get out of the way. They're braking here at about 150 yards, or 150 feet, whatever it is, into the first chicane. Brian Janik running in fourth by himself now in the second of the Lancias, and then you have David Watman in fifth, which is good. He didn't have quite a good a race last time out, so that's good. Wilkes in sixth. Saber is in seventh and has stopped in the pits for some reason. Apparently he has some kind of issue. And look at this, Asserclint and Tim Hilla battling door handle to door handle here for 10th place. Actually, this is for 9th. Yes, that was Asserclint going up to 9th place. Here comes Tim Hilla looking for a way to get by. Let's use this opportunity to listen to some sweet Porsche music. Saber's still in the pits. Goodness, he must have had a serious repair that he had to do. And we got John Team out of the race, so maybe there might have been an incident there that the two of them had. Drexler's up to 7th place. This is all due to attrition, mainly. Kirsten in third. And look at this. Here is Fernandez right with the leader. Right with Juha. Is he going to be able to out-drag him before they get to the north curve? He wanted to, but he just didn't quite have the momentum. He slips back behind him. Oh, look at this. He might have a shot here. Fernandez. And you know what this does? This plays right into the hands of Nicholas Kirsten, because if these two are running side by side, they run slower than if they run in a straight line. Simple aerodynamics. So that means that it will allow Kirsten to possibly close in on these two. Fernandez takes the lead, but he's going to go out to the grass once again. This is probably going to give Boss another shot. Yes, there he goes. These two running side by side again, and it's actually 3 whole seconds there got chopped off from the lead that they have over Kirsten. So this is what Kirsten wants. He wants these two to battle, because the more they battle, the more chance he has of catching up. Fernandez first, Boss in second, so they're just trading it back and forth here. Kirsten is about 15 seconds behind this group. And we got about 5 laps to go, so it looks as if Dolan is going to take the championship just based on the points that he gets. Fernandez really throwing the car sideways, so is Boss, even more so. Fernandez, I believe, has one other win in this series. I forget what track it was at, but I know he had at least one win. So he'd love to cap off this series with another one. Into the Sachs curve with Boss right behind him. The gap is now 14 seconds. So Kirsten's closing, but probably not fast enough at this stage. He would need something calamitous to happen to our front two cars here. Liam Dolan is in the YouTube chat watching because he knows that how this plays out will determine whether he's the champion or not. He would have wrapped up the championship if it hadn't been for Juha taking the win and him taking second place. 4 more points would have done it. But Fernandez now in the lead. And here's where things really stretch out. Now the gap is going way up now. Kirsten all by himself now. He's got no slipstream help. So you're going to see that gap between him and the leaders just accordion up and down. Boss trying to get in a position where he can have another go at Fernandez. There's a bit of a look here, actually. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. No, but he's right with him. If he can get out of the Ost curve quickly enough, might be able to do it on the next straight. Exits the Ost curve. That's a pretty good roll, but they look pretty even at this point. And I think you can hear Tim Hilla there in the distance, so they've got another car they have to lap. Boss doing his best to slalom between those curbs, and it looks like he has a bit of a roll here. Kirsten still trying to close in. You can see him there just now arriving at the second chicane. Here comes Boss up the inside. No, he can't get alongside Fernandez. And you can see there are cars in front of them that are going to be lapped. I believe that's Jonathan and Tim Hilla as they exit the Sachs curve left and back to the right, and now 2 right-hand turns. Yep. Exiting and now heading towards start-finish line. 3 laps to go now. 3 laps to go. And there's Fernandez flashing his lights. He wants the guys down there to know that they're approaching. And look at that. It's Tim Hilla passing Johnny Aces there going into the corner. So they've got their own battle going on. They're not going to want to put it on hold for these two, but they're going to have to. Oh, and there's the flashing light. So they both slowed down together for the two of them. That's very sporting, considering that they were in direct competition. But if there's one thing we know about Johnny Aces, he's very sporting. And so is Tim Hilla. Apparently, that looked like that was a wheel off on the side there. I don't know whose the wheel that was. But my goodness, Drexler, Saber, and Chacon are all out of the race. How this happened, I have no idea. Let's see if I can go back here and find out, because that's a lot of cars to go out in close proximity. And naturally, it's too far back. Well, that's the disadvantage of... well, here's now Hilla. This is the battle that they were overtaking. Is the battle between Hilla and Asterclinth. And Asterclinth is trying to get back by Tim Hilla into 7th place now, so they've been promoted up the chart quite a bit. Oh, look at that! Hilla goes for a bit of a wild ride on the outside. That's just enough to let Johnny Aces slip by into 7th place. So Wilkes is in 6th, Wattman 5th, Janik is in 4th still, Kirsten 3rd. Here's Boss, and it looks like, yeah, the gap now is 20 seconds, so it's stretching out quite a bit. So 2 laps to go now, and it appears that Liam Dolan is going to be the champion on points, just so everybody knows what's going on. If you look at the point standings as they are right now, Dolan has 139, Kirsten has 121. If Kirsten finishes in 3rd, looking at the point scheme, that will give him 12 points. 12 plus 21, or 121 is 133. So that means that Dolan would win the championship 6 points clear of Kirsten based on what's going on right now. Boss continues to lead. One more lap to go. Oh, Boss, like, that's danger there, like clipping that curb. But look at the momentum that was gained there by Fernandez just because that one miscue by Juha. Fernandez up the inside. He's by him here now, but they got to go into this second chicane, and he gets the overlap. So Fernandez goes into the lead once more. Has a very, very clean exit. And now look at this, Boss counterattacking here on the outside. But no, Fernandez has got the inside line, and he's going to look at him hanging out there. My goodness. And that's going to scrub off a bit of speed. Can Boss counterattack here going into the Sachs curve? No, he cannot. Over the curbs once again. And here we go. It's time for the final lap of this race. Through the first turn, Fernandez looking really good. Boss is only going to have a couple of shots here before the end of the race. Chopper shot there. And Kirsten is 24 points back. So unless these two miraculously, from his point of view, DNF, the championship will be decided here. And the final round in favor of Liam Dolan, who's driven an incredible second half of the series. Not that we divide it in halves, but the last few races for Liam have been fantastic. Kirsten was pretty much dominant in the early races, and it shifted back to Liam's favor towards the end. So here they come, down to the Ost curve. This is one of the last opportunities that Boss will have coming out of here. Looking at Fernandez. And no impression there at all, so shifting for the second chicane. Oh my goodness, very, Juha goes off on the grass there, so it's probably going to be about it. Fernandez had that issue just one time too many in the last race, and that prevented him from being in touch with the lead group at the finish, but didn't happen as much this time. Happened a couple of times, but did not happen enough to take him out of contention with the front of the field. And it looks like he's going to convert that into a win. Coming off of the final turn here. Not the final turn, the final couple of turns in the stadium section. Now into the final turn at the south curve here. And back onto the main straight. And heading towards the checkered flag is Ruben Fernandez. He has won round 13. The final round of the series. Boss finishes in second place. Here comes Kirsten. The championship goes to Liam Dolan. He is our 1980 DRM Division II Series champion. Unfortunately, he will be celebrating from the garage area because he's out of this race, but Kirsten crosses the line third. Ends with 133 points. Just not enough. The challenge for the championship. The end margin, 6 points by my calculations. Fourth, here comes off the last corner. A nice finish for Brian Janik in the Lancia Beta Monte Carlo. David Wattman looks like he's going to have a better finish here than he did in the last round. He's coming off the corner now, and he is going to finish in 5th place. There is Wilkes crossing the line in 6th. And we already have Asserklinth in 7th and Hilla in 8th. They've already crossed the line behind the drivers there. These are the cars that were out of the race. Drexler, Saber, Chacon. I have no clue how these occurred. 12th was John Team. 13th was Ray Riddall. 14th, Liam Dolan. The series champion, who I'm sure is celebrating in the garage there, even though we can't see it. 15th, Slipinski. 16th, Grant Riddall. Grant Riddall once again DNFs in the final race, and that is it for this round, and that's it for this series. Fantastic series with a lot of exciting races, and in the end, Liam Dolan's going to be the champion in terms of points. Congratulations to him. And now let's go to the trivia question. The trivia question is, who won the last Formula One Grand Prix held on the full version of the Hockenheimring in 2001? Was it A, Juan Pablo Montoya? Was it B, Ralf Schumacher? Or was it C, Rubens Barrichello? Time is up. I'm going to give some people a chance to chime in here. Barry Lynn says she said A, Juan Pablo Montoya. We'll see if anybody else wants to chime in here before we go to the answer. I don't see anyone else chiming in, so, well, unfortunately, Barry Lynn, the answer is not Juan Pablo Montoya. Sorry about that. The answer is Ralf Schumacher. Can't win them all. All right, so that was the last race in this series. It's been a fantastic series. I've already said that probably once. Don't forget, coming up at ISO, we've announced our first of the Lucas Vidra Trophy for 2026. And it's going to be on the Hungaroring using DTM 1988 cars. Rounds 1 and 2 will take place on Sunday, January 18th. Race 1 starts at 2000 CET. If you want to take part in that, go over to the forum. The actual entry list will open on Monday at 2000 CET, but you can download the track and the cars if you want to and take part in practice before that. See which cars you like and then pick out a car with be an informed consumer. You know, choose the car you like based on the practice you do and go from there. And I'm sure that, by the way, we're going to have some F1 1967 stuff coming up in the near future on the forum, so keep your eyes peeled for that, for the car allocation process, because we all know that's a cogs going to slop. Everybody's excited about that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this final round. Congratulations to Ruben Fernandez for the win in the final race, and to Liam Dolan, the series champion. Thanks again, everybody, for watching on YouTube, and Happy New Year. Everybody take care and be safe.